Hello guys, welcome to Study IQ. I'm Safir. In this session, we are going to talk about Human Development Index. Okay, so guys, I'll be talking about the concepts related to Human Development Index, the indicators, the dimension, how it is calculated, and why GM, why not AM. We used to have arithmetic progression before while calculating, but now we shifted to geometric progression. That in itself can be a question, because when you shift to geometric progression, that actually reflect the interdimensional inequality. I'll show you with example. For that, I'll take numbers, and with the help of numbers, I can explain things in a very detailed way. So the conceptual part of this will be very clear once you're done with the session, and that's what I can guarantee you. Any question related to HDI, conceptual questions, you will be able to solve. And the HDI values of the current, whatever year in which you're preparing, that you can add. Okay, so let's start with this. It has been developed by UNDP, right, in 1919, and it was led by a team of economists, and it was that team was actually led by Professor Mehboob Haq. And these are facts which everybody know. Mehboob Haq and even Amartya Sen was also part of the team. Okay, so just for the sake of discussing, I'm just taking it as a discussion. And since 1990 onwards, it's being published by UNDP in their Human Development Report. Okay, so it is actually being published in the Human Development Report by or of UNDP. So let's look into what exactly is HDI and how is it calculated, what are the different dimensions, and what are the indicators, and some values are given to these indicators like minimum value, maximum value. We'll try to see why it is given. And there is a dimension index. For example, for life expectancy, if you consider that as an indicator or dimension for that life expectancy index, right? And then education index for education. So how is it calculated, and all those things is what I'm going to show you. Similarly, when you go for GNI index, you will be taking a log, ln. So why it is taken and all those things is what I'm supposed to discuss in this session with examples. Okay, so let's start with this, guys, the dimensions. So right now itself, I'll start with the table so that when we proceed further, we can fill the table. Okay, so I'll be starting with this table itself. I'll be keeping this side dimension. Okay, so we are looking for the dimension first. What are the different dimensions? The first one, the health related one. And then the next one, knowledge or education. And the third one, it is the standard of living. So guys, this is something which you can remember. And this is what we are going to use later. There will be inequality adjusted human development index also, we will see. So in the next session, I'll be talking about that. And then I have discussed already multidimensional poverty index. In that also, you will be seeing the same dimension. These three are the dimension. The indicators may vary, but the dimensions you can see. Now let's look for the indicators. Guys, dimensions can be asked as a question. Indicators can be asked as a question. So health, what is the indicator? Life expectancy at birth. Okay, life expectancy at birth is the indicator of health. And then mean years of schooling when it comes to knowledge, and expected years of schooling. Both are there. Guys, what do you mean by mean years of schooling? It is average years of education which is received by adults above the age of 25 years. So mean years of schooling for adults who are above 25 years. Expected years of schooling is average years of school education received by below 25. Okay, so I'll just write it here. Expected, or first I want to write this one, mean years of schooling. Mean years of schooling, and then expected years of schooling. Okay, so the first one is for about 25 years, and then this is below 25 years. I hope you can, anyway, you are listening to me, so whatever marks I am making, so you can connect it anyway. So this is what expected years of schooling and mean years of schooling. These are the two indicators. I'll tell you how is it used and how is it calculated and everything. How is it used to calculate the index as well. And then standard of living, it is calculated on the basis of GNI per capita. Okay, so GNI per capita. So gross national income. It has to be income, right? Standard of living has to be calculated on the basis of national income. So, and per capita. That means per person. You will just divide by population. Simple. So GNI per capita, and it will be taken at purchasing power. This at this level, purchasing power. So it's like this at the PPP, not at market price. Okay, and then not on a fixed price also. This is based on PPP, and the reasons and everything we have discussed when we have actually compared, GDP with market price and the purchasing power, exchange rate. These are actually exchange rates. Okay, so indicators. Now after that we need dimension indices, but before that I need to talk about some values as well to calculate this. Okay, so guys, if you want, you can just take it down. Mean years of schooling, it is the average number of years of education received by people aged 25 years and above during their lifespan. And expected years of schooling, it shows the average years of education being received by children under the age of 25 years. So first one above 25 year, second one below 25 year. So standard of living, it is a national income divided by population. Okay, that is a per capita income. So GNI per capita and taken at a purchasing power rate. So values, there will be minimum value. So values, if you see, there will be some minimum value and maximum value for each of these. So let's see how it has been given. Okay, so minimum value for life expectancy, this is 20 year, and 85 is the maximum. This is required for calculation of dimension index. Next one will be dimension index. So for that, we need that. Okay, so 20 and 85 years, minimum and maximum. And similarly, minimum and maximum for mean years of schooling, it is 0 and 15 years. Okay, and then again 0 and 18 years. And here from $100 to around 75,000. Now this is bigger, because there are very poor countries where, like Zimbabwe, Namibia, they might have the income very less, like $100, and there may be countries like Singapore and all very well developed countries, their per capita income will be like 75,000 more, right? So here, what adjustment we need to make in the calculation also, I'll be showing you. So if you see the dimension index, now what are the dimension index? Life expectancy, for that LEI, life expectancy index. Simple. Next one, education index. That's what related to education. For education, education index. And the next one, standard of living, for that GNI index. So we got the 3 dimension index also. Now what we need is, we need to calculate these dimension index, and from that only we will be able to calculate the HDI values. Okay, so guys, what I'll do is, for the calculation purpose, I'll take some example, and I take example from 2015 HDI of values. Okay, I'm just taking this actual values so that I can explain how it has been calculated. I can randomly take certain values, but from 2015 I've taken these values to demonstrate, and the current value you need to update it. So 2015 values is what I'm taking, and I'm just looking for India. So let's try to understand the case of India. What is LEI? What is EI? What is GI? How was it calculated, and everything we will discuss. So let's see. India in 2015, LEI, for that, that is 68 years. Okay, so the life expectancy, 68 years, first one. And the second one, if you see, 5.4 years, and then 11.7 years. That means first one, mean years of schooling, that is 5.4. Expected years of schooling, 11.7. I'm taking actual value so that we will do the calculation. Actual calculation we will do. Just hold on for a minute, okay? And the third one, that was GNI per capita, 5497. So this is the third one. So we have taken this. Now what is GNI per capita? Per capita income, GNI divided by population, or GDP divided by population. So now we need to know the equation for the dimension index. How we calculate the dimension index. See guys, there is a formula for this. We have actual value. This is what has been given here. There's the actual value. For life expectancy, there's the actual value of India. Mean years of schooling, this one. Expected years of schooling, this one. Per capita income, this one. So that is the actual value. So this is known to you. Minus minimum value. This is what I have given before, right? From the table, you can see there is a minimum value, maximum value. So for life expectancy, we have a minimum of 20, maximum of 85. So minimum we got like that. So actual value minus minimum value divided by max value. Do you have the maximum value? Yes, you have that. Minus minimum value. Do you have that? Yes. So we got everything. Now can we calculate? We will be calculating the actual values in this situation. If you want, we can exactly calculate, or I'll just tell and leave it also. It's just as simple as that, right? So let me show you life expectancy index if I need to calculate. Actual value 68 minus what is the minimum? Look into the table, 20 divided by what is the maximum? 85, right? Minus what is the minimum? 20. What you will be getting? 48 divided by 65. So that will be 0.738. So what we got, this 0.738, that is the life expectancy index of India in the year 2015. So if you need to calculate now, 2022, I'm recording this video in 2022. Guys, I'm making this year neutral. That's why I'm not talking about any particular report in this video. That has been done by different teachers in the current affair platform and the videos which are updated in the channel. So this, I'm taking it as a static topic, and this is going to be useful for the students who are coming in the future also. So I'm not taking any particular year. I'm remaining neutral in terms of year. I'm not going to discuss the report of this year or anything. This is the task that I'm leaving to you. Whichever year you are preparing, you will be finding it. If you want to, you can find it out. Anyway, it has been already prepared by them, but how they have prepared is what I'm explaining to you. Okay, you don't want to go to this level, but you will be satisfied, I think. Okay, so LEI, and then what does that mean? Years of schooling and everything that we have discussed, right? So what we need to do is, when it comes to education index, we have two, right? Mean years of schooling and expected years of schooling. For both, we need to do, and we need to take the average. So like one you can take as X, the other you can take as Y, X plus Y by 2. So for expected years of schooling, you need to do the same. Mean years of schooling, you need to do the same. You get that two values and get the average of it. Let's do that. So let's do that for mean years first. Okay, what is that? 5.4, that was the actual, minus 0, that's a minimum, and then 15 minus 0. What you're getting? You'll be getting around 5.4 by 15. Let's keep it like this. This makes calculation simple. And then expected years of schooling, what you're going to get? 11.7 minus 0 divided by 18 minus 0. This you will be getting 11.7 divided by 18. Now you need to add both divided by 2. That means you are supposed to take the average. Okay, so just mark it as X and just mark it as Y. What you need to do is EI equal to X plus Y by 2, average of this. That's what you need to do. Simple. Now that's something which you can do easily. Let's talk about the third one. So this is the first one. This is the second one. Let's talk about the third one. Here it is the same formula, but here we'll make a difference. We will use log here, ln. The reason is we have a huge difference, and to compare 175,000, it is very difficult. So we will use log. Okay, so here the formula will be GI. When it comes to India, ln 5497, right? 5497. That's actual value for us, minus ln 100. That is a minimum value, divided by ln 75,000. That's the maximum, ln 100. Why we are taking log? Because this difference is so huge. Okay, so to scale down, we are using log. Yeah, because you will see when we are talking about India, even then the difference you can see 75,000 to 5,000 is huge. Otherwise, if you take some poor countries like Zimbabwe, there may be 100, and some countries like Singapore, there will be 75,000. So you need to scale down. Okay, like even that, the thing UPSC also will do when it comes to the optional papers. Some years will go higher and some will be very low. So what the UPSC will do, they will scale down. So there is a scaling down in UPSC also. And this is something which is done practically to make a parity. Okay, so I hope this is very clear. Now, once we're done with this, we got all these dimension index. Now we take the geometric mean of all these dimension index, and that's going to be your HDI. So how you're going to calculate HDI? You will be taking the geometric mean of, that means cube root. Okay. What are the indexes? Life expectancy index, education index, and then we have GNI index, GI. So we have 3 index. Take the geometric mean. Guys, before, I think up till 2010, it was arithmetic mean. Arithmetic mean means just add all the 3 divided by 3. But now, after 2010 onwards, it has been shifted. But obviously, why it was shifted? I can explain that with an example. For that, let's talk about 2 countries, A and B. Okay, let's talk about 3 indices again: life expectancy index, education index, or GIU ignore. We'll take 2 index. That's enough, just for the sake of explanation. Now let's take some values also. LEI 0.1, education 0.9. What does it mean? Education is doing really good, but life expectancy is very, very bad. On the other hand, the other country B, 0.5 and 0.5. Now, if you take the arithmetic mean in this case, what you're going to get? 0.5 plus 0.5 divided by 2. So you will be getting AM 0.5 in the country B, A in case of country B. What about country A? Country A also 0.1 plus 0.9 divided by 2. That is 1 divided by 2. That is again 0.5 itself. So in both cases, if you take AM, it is 0.5. But the question is, are these 2 countries equal in their life standard? No, obviously. B is far, far better, right? Just because education is better in country A, that will not compensate for life. Yes or no, guys? But when you calculate HDI based on this arithmetic mean concept, you are ignoring the interdimensional inequality. There is an inequality between the 2 dimensions. You have ignored it. On the other hand, if you're going with GM, I'll show you. If you go with GM, what will happen? What you get for GM, when you calculate for A, it will be square root, right? So it will be 0.3. And when you calculate GM for B, it will be 0.5. So B, GM, when you see 0.5, that itself indicate that B is better, right? So when you go for GM, the advantages, geometric mean will capture the interdimensional inequality. Arithmetic mean won't capture that. So that's the reason why 2010 onwards, it has been replaced with geometric mean. I hope this is very clear to you now with this simple example. Okay, so my point here is, if you take in this country itself, if you take A and B, arithmetic mean, if you're taking, both countries are same value. HDI will be same. So they will be ranked together same way. But are they deserve to be ranked together? The life standard or the standard of living is the same? No, right? One will not compensate for the other. Definitely. Education will not compensate for life. How? Okay, guys. So that is the reason why you're going for geometric mean. So remember this. Always remember this. Geometric mean will capture the interdimensional inequality. I will discuss this further again when I talk about inequality adjusted, HDI. There I'm going to take geometric mean again within the index also, different indices also. Okay, so I hope this part is very clear to all of you. Now what you can do is you can see the recent HDI value in whichever year you are watching the video. You can update your note with that. So I'm just leaving it to you completely. And then there are classifications of countries also, which is based on HDI. Like one classification is very high human developed country. That means greater than 0.8. Very high developed. Okay, very high human developed country. Second classification is high human development, like that. That means 0.7 to 0.8 range. That is high. And then third category is medium human development. That is 0.55 to 0.7. And then very low or low, that means below 0.5. So these are again based on HDI values. You calculate HDI values and you will be placing. Suppose India's value comes under 0.6. That means where we will be coming? We will be coming in medium. Okay, so based on the HDI value, you'll be putting in this category, classification of the country based on HDI. I hope this is very clear to all of you, and I'm done with the session. So that's about Human Development Index. If you want, there is one more categorization or classification, that is like developed countries, least developed countries, developing countries, etc. That anyway all of you know. So as per UNDP, how many developed countries are there? Developed countries, if you see, there are around 49 countries, and all others are actually developing countries. So you don't, developing means underdeveloped. So when you're talking about India as a developing country, it is actually underdeveloped, but we don't want to, underdeveloped is a derogatory word, right? So we don't want to use that. That's the reason why you're going for developing. So 49 countries are developed, so all others are underdeveloped, okay? Or third world countries, underdeveloped or third world countries. Then one more category is there, that is least developed countries, okay? So the criteria for least developed countries actually given by United Nations Economic and Social Council, Economic and Social Council for LDC. Okay, what are the criteria? One is like low per capita income. So that is actually one of the important criteria. And World Bank also see the low income country. So low per capita income. So this calculation from World Bank also will be considered. It is actually considered. And then you have to also consider human asset index. I was not supposed to discuss this actually today. In fact, we wanted to cover HDI. So human asset index, and what are the assets mainly? Assets are basically education and also health. Now, when it comes to health, what all things will be considered? Malnutrition, infant mortality, those things are actually considered. Okay, and then third one was economic vulnerability index. Economic vulnerability index, okay, like dependence on agriculture, natural calamities. So if you're depending on monsoon, that means you are so much vulnerable. Like if you see the very first plan after independence itself, we were targeting around very less growth, around 1%, 2%, 2%, but we have achieved far much more than that. Why? Because of good monsoon, thanks to rain gods. But in the third plan, we were not able to, that was the least growth in the entire post independence, any plan if you take, that was around 2.8. Why? Again, because of monsoon, because there was a famine which was going on, and then there was plan holiday, annual plans were there, and then we went for green revolution and all, right? So we are also very much vulnerable to monsoon and then natural calamities and all those. So around 48 countries are classified as LDC. Okay, and this criteria is actually reviewed after every 3 years. So I hope this is now clear for all of you. Anything else I want to discuss? Anything I've missed out? So LDC criteria is low per capita income, which is based on World Bank calculation. Like World Bank classify, right? Low income, middle income, high income country. And based on that, you will be taking the country here. And then human asset index, economic. Yeah, these are the three which is actually considered. So guys, I hope things are very clear. So what is HDI? I'll just repeat it. For HDI, you have 3 dimension and then indicators. Based on that, you will be calculating dimension index. What are they? Education index, life expectancy index, and then you have one more, GNI index for the standard of living. You will have to take cube root of it. This is your HDI. The current values and everything need to be updated, and that is your task. So guys, thank you for attending the session. And if you like the video, give me a thumbs up. You can comment below if you have any questions or doubts. See you in the next session. Thank you guys.